Yo, so welcome to a solid workout, real deal overall, just high intensity. I guess I'll just talk about what's in the workout. Unique as far as just doing squats, incline bench, and what was it? Calf raises in one session. That's just it. You know what I mean? That's all I did, but I did a whole bunch of sets, high sets, medium, moderate reps. As far as with my squats, just really wanted to kind of challenge and push myself and just really kind of overstimulate, my legs in a way to where, in a safe way. And this is a good way of doing it. I really seen progress from the last time that I did this to this current time that I did this. Last time y'all seen in my prior videos with self fatigue, I ended up throwing up. Um, I was just so tired between my sets. With this one right here, yeah, I was tired, but I'm not throwing up. I feel like my form is a little bit better. And I did more, so I did like maybe 6 to 7 more reps. And I'm trying to hit the 30. So I mean hit 30, maybe do that like 3 or 4 times. 30, 30, 30. And then, push it up. Definitely in the middle while I'm hitting that, trying to hit that 30 mark. I'm definitely gonna be pushing up to 315 on the back. You know, 3 to 6, 3 to 7 reps, maybe 1 to 2 sets. Or maybe 2 sets and just like maybe after, I think I even do it in here too. So maybe after a failure, set up to 315 and then go through, right? Or we might even start off with the 315 first, after we hit the 30. And then we start with the 315s, do as many as we can, and then drop down to the 245 and then hit a 30. Right? Just really getting to the level of where you entering the phase of where you shocking and you surprising your muscle. And so my upper body really reacted crazy to it. So I was able to put on mass and like in a short amount of time, learned my lesson. Learn my lesson though, neglecting your legs and stuff. Neglecting your legs. Just kind of focusing on upper body. That's why I was saying like it really kind of, you could tell a lot about somebody who just got small legs, big upper body. You can kind of, it say a lot about that person without them even having to say nothing about it. It just kind of tell you like where they at specifically as far as like mentally when it come to this. But so it got to the point to where I started having like real deal physical like aches and stuff in my knee. I started having shin splints because I felt like I put too much weight and it was working out my upper body that it created an imbalance. So I was like at the most I remember checking 215 and I seen on the scale 215, and that's like around that time I was like having those problems, you know. So I feel like that's what I mean. Like you get to a point, so you get to a point to where you overwork your upper body because you just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You just newer into the gym, a little bit less experience. It don't even gotta be time wise, just experience wise, like knowledge wise, like you know, understanding wise. You hit a point to where your shit gonna start aching. You ain't gonna, and then you're gonna have to take the time to really figure out what it is, why why your joints aching. And that's really what it was for me. So you know, saying all of that to say I seen the effects of me kind of working out my upper body like this to know what I might expect as far as working out my lower body. So I can see essentially by the time this is all said and done, maybe by like 2017 March, 2027 March, right? 2027 next year March. I can see like 10 more pounds. 10 more pounds in my leg area. And then maybe like a more toned and defined, maybe I gain 10 more pounds in my legs. And then my abs just kind of like shrink a little bit and then get more defined. You know, I do a whole bunch of real deal, just um mobility type core stability movements, right? So I can see that. And but I'm one of the type of people, I don't know, like, so I know that people have abs, right? Everybody have those ab muscles, but I've literally had defined abs since I can remember, since like maybe 6. So what I'm saying, like, I don't know, I could just see like I could just see that area getting a little bit more like sturdy and firm as opposed to just like kind of expanding. So that's my goal for next year and a half, a year basically. I can see that. So that's what we're doing. So that's the pace that we're doing. So that's what I can expect because I kind of already seen that happen with my upper body. And I guess I definitely know, I'm not guessing. I know I was a little bit more bigger in my upper body area, but I had to balance it out. So I'm over here doing these and really just kind of, because I got to the point to where I understand with your legs, they need volume. The best way to train them is with volume. And so you're training them and they need mass too, but they need mass in a specific way because like your body can only take so much mass. You understand? And then on top of that, bro, you gotta kind of be always having this understanding. So a lot of people lack this shit when it comes to just fitness related things. They can't really connect their mind to their body consistently. You know what I mean? So when you tell people they're gonna need mass for their legs, they also not taking into account to where like, yeah, you entering a critical area of just like having to maintain a specific level, a really elite level of competency throughout your entire body, like your soul, your brain, your muscles, your skeleton, your feet work, like your placement of your feet, your hands, everything needs to be so confident because the slightest error at this amount of mass is gonna be catastrophic, you know? So that's hard to kind of explain to people, but the best way is volume, right? So just volume, volume, volume. If you could think about it, like the best way to think about it is, so you can do 315 5 times, right? Or whatever you can do 315 at. Just give them the number 315 5 times. Or which one's better? So 315 5 times or 245 20 times, right? So, and there's a way that you can mix that in too. There's a way you can mix the 315 in with the 245. So, like which one got more, like what did you stimulate more? So let's say 25 times, right? So, and that's what I want y'all to see. I feel like me give me all that rawness, unedited, unfilteredness. It's kind of like you can evenly translate the you can decipher, and the energy can be transferred through the perspective that you're looking at it. You understand? So so I'm giving y'all this. So y'all can just kind of, pick up on that, that thing that I'm talking about. I know some people know what I'm talking about. I know people that know what I'm talking about. But then I know people that just, I understand how people would not understand what this means. But that's why I'm here for y'all. But where we at? Where are we at? Oh yeah, and another way. So another way, and this like, bro, these things I say, trust me, man, trust me. Just ask questions. So I might say some stuff, and you might be like, "Oh, you know, if you gotta just ask a question, and just ask for me to clarify." And of course, I'll clarify that shit, But sometimes I might glance over this stuff. This is like me. You can say in the sense raw, unfiltered. That's what I try to make it like, just raw, unfiltered. But oh, so a way that you can really get like that can help you gauge. So a way that you can tell. So let's say you do a workout, you do biceps, right? We just narrow it down, biceps. I don't know. It's different with each muscle. Let's see. So biceps, it's different with each muscle, bro. It's different with each muscle. Let's just go with not the biceps, because the biceps can repair. I think the biceps repair the pain from the biceps is less significant, so it kind of really dilutes the time that you think it needs to recover. So it's a tricky muscle. That's in my opinion. That's with my experience where I was telling y'all how I feel. A scientist can't tell you this shit, bro. So a scientist can't tell you this stuff that I'm telling you. You want to know why they can't tell you this? Because they did not experience this shit. They can only read this shit verbatim. A biologist, they can only read this shit to you. Now, the way you could trust a biologist, I'm just saying, like, so you trust these people. I'm not saying don't trust these people, but there is a value in what I'm trying to give y'all. There's a value in the information that I'm giving y'all. A way that you can, and okay, look, so the reason why you can't trust the biologist, but trust the biologist, a person that's smart, right? That's book smart, but also that's actively in the field, getting to it, and that can tell you, that I've been through all of those woes and the lows, the wins and the losses, seeing people go through it, sweating, grinding, bleeding, competing in a competitive sport. Something like that that's gonna involve these type of movements and techniques and strengths and weaknesses and mental fortitude, mind muscle connection. That's a person that you could trust, right? Some person with some real deal, real life pedigree and book smarts to go behind it. Um, but you can also trust those people out there really with their hands getting to it. There's a value in that shit. So, and then too, take into account too people who got like who are competent too. These people are boneheads. These people are fried. Like they like nah, they not all the way there. So that's okay too. But you know, some people can speak from the heart and you can understand that shit. So, and that's valuable. That's a valuable shit there. You know, people that can just speak and translate and convey their emotions. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, so what I was saying, oh, so a good way, so let's say you working out your legs. A good way to know that you did a good workout for your legs, you doing squats, right? To know that you had a good session on squats is to be feeling muscle soreness for the next one. No, for the next so legs. Minimum soreness should be at least 3 days, 2 to 3 days. So 2 days is a good workout. Oh no, 2 days is an okay workout. Okay, okay. 2 days is an okay workout. 3 days is a good workout. 4 days is a great workout, right? And that's how we're gonna do it. Good, okay, good, and great. 2 days of muscle soreness, and then you feel well enough that you can bend over and pick some shit up. But, do a squat, body weight squat, drop down, fucking ass touch your damn thigh, your damn shins, your calves, and you feel fine. Like you could do that a couple times, and you don't feel no like soreness. That's an okay workout. 2 days, 3 days. That's okay. That's a good workout. 4 days. That's a great workout, right? But let me say, sorry, y'all. Sorry. But let me say, it takes time though to know how to make those muscles soar properly and to really know like that you hit those right muscles. It takes some experience. So doing squats, example, bro, your lower back should not be hurting. You understand that? So, but it's gonna take you some time to realize, like, damn, okay, how my lower back is hurting, and how do I know that? Because I'm thinking about it, right? And I know it's not supposed to hurt. Then it's like, okay, now how do I stop that? Right? And then it's like, okay, like I did it this time, it didn't stop it. Okay, then it's like, well, like what do I need to do? Like how do I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like it take experience to understand how to not make those things happen and to even be aware about those things that's happening. So just something, a piece of advice from me to y'all. Muscle soreness. Um, that's a great way to value to understand to grade your workouts. But yeah, I just so yeah, so I would consider this to be a I would consider this to be a good workout. Probably even a great workout. Especially for my legs, as far as the squat section of it. I feel like that would be considered a great, close to great to good workout based on the amount of time that I had to recover from that. So like it was this one guy, so I'm thinking, I'm doing a good job, and I am. I'm doing a good job, right? Are we, most can say I'm doing a good job, but I just literally seen this one guy, dude, just 315 for 50, straight up. shit on what I'm doing over here. And what most people are doing. Yeah, what was his name? Durrell Kelly. If I remember his name. Cause I was just, I had to look through his, his page and everything. He working out for 10 years. Um, I was looking through his shit because I was impressed, bro. I watched the clip like 3 or 4 times. I might just share it on my page, but I at least liked it. I'm not gonna do him like that. If I'm gonna give anybody a like, bro, I'm giving everybody a like that is not in a fucking a goddamn multi-millionaire. I'm not. I can't. I don't know, bro. Like if you out here grinding, you doing some real shit, I'm gonna give you a like. That's just how it goes. You doing something real, genuine. I'm giving you a like. Especially if you're doing it by yourself, bro. I'm giving you a like. But. But nah, yeah, dude had a team of people around him. He was, I seen his page. He was working out from, at least he showed a picture at 2016 to 2026. And that's one of the things I could, I use to kind of like, that I would like to see people do, especially these big people, these kind of big name people, to just show like where they were and where they are. You know what I mean? Like a track record of, like, where they started at. If you don't see that, bro, that's a red flag. So the guy was 289 in pounds. He stepped on the scale 289. I don't remember when, but at some point when I seen it, his profile 289. Squatted 315 for 50. One set consecutively. And had a team of people around him similar in size. He had a bald head. Hmm. Regardless of whatever it was, I thought it was impressive. So regardless, whatever substances you own, to do 50, 315, 50 reps, 315, is impressive. I think like even with drugs, people with drugs still can't do that type of shit. And then too, after the way he held it down, um, it says a lot too, because these people that be on drugs, I feel like, I don't know. The people that be on drugs really got a bad stamina. Am I right? Am I wrong? Y'all tell me. Right? You can't just shoot up and get a good, a top quality stamina level, fatigue level. Like that's not gonna help you. You can't. It's no way you can do that. Um. So like after the set, he recovered. At least they kind of like they didn't show too much after the set, but he recovered pretty well. But I feel like that'll make most people collapse, sit down, and want to do something else. But his recovery was commendable. And then I was also seeing he was like actively recovering. Dude had he was squatting so much he had a fucking where the squat bar goes on the back of your neck. Dude had like an open wound on that spot. You know. Um Shit, whatever that says to you, shit is crazy, bro. Um I don't know what that indicate to me, bro. You know, that that indicate to me, bro, personally, if I got some type of wound like that from squatting, I'm just trying to like put myself in his shoes. That would indicate to me that I'm not stable mentally, right? I mean, like, bro, like I can't be stable mentally if that's if I'm wounding myself like that. it's not like a okay, the bar slipped and it wounded you, but you kept working out. No, it's like a over time, like this shit is like opening up. And at one time it was small, and now it like opened up to being bigger and bigger and bigger, and you kept working out through it. You know, I don't know. He looked like he had like competition poses, so maybe he was competing, and maybe that was like, maybe that's his goals. So then maybe that's what he has to do. But from a normal person standpoint, that's a little bit on the extreme side. Giving me more of like steroid side, drug side, whatever you want to call it side. But that may be personal. That may be like a personal thing. But I feel like, bro, you can't be stable for that shit to happen. Regardless, it was an impressive lift. But still, team with people similar in size, that can mean a lot of things though. Like me, I'm solo lone wolf in this shit. So what that means is that, it's gonna be, I have like, there's not too many voices like motivating me like that. Like, some people get hyped off of shit like that. And also too, I feel like personally, if you got like a group of people that you work out with, or even just one more person, like it just kind of like you can get more reps in, more sets in, less time BSing if y'all really focused on like grinding in the gym, and you can do a lot more with less time. And with a lot more time, you could do a lot more than the person in there, solo and shit. So I'm just saying, like, that can go both ways. So if you got a team of people, okay, it makes sense. Like, yeah. But if you by yourself, you 290 and shit, I don't know. Tell me, Chicago, not really a place that got too much, going on. It's a lot of crime and shit, and I can see motherfuckers really getting swole in Chicago. Chicago is a big city. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing like bad about it. But it's not like a LA or not like a New York. Or I don't even want to put New York in that shit, bro. But it ain't too much other shit for you to be getting into other than business, trouble, working out. It ain't like the beach or nothing, or like the strip or the city, the club. Like you ain't going to none of them fucking clubs out there, bitch. Oh no, y'all tell me. I ain't never been to Chicago, but it's just like it don't sound like a place that I would just trust going to a fucking club at. But I'm just saying like of like lack of things to do. Like I know like even in Florida it's cities like where it's like a lack of shit to do, and like a lot of people who get really swole like this just be in the middle of nowhere. They don't got no examples, and all they know is just like pure just I ain't have shit else to do, and I was just lifting weights. That's just all I was doing. So like, you can understand a person in the middle of nowhere with no distractions being able to get so swole. So I can understand maybe from Chicago a person being so being able to get so swole, which this dude was, Darrell Kelly. 290 is questionable. Questionable. 10 years though is a career veteran. So I would imagine myself if I was to keep doing this shit, I would gain. I could see myself if I was to keep doing this shit. But I don't know if I would want to be a 289 type guy. But I can see myself if I was to keep really pushing, and I just was to put a little bit more money into this shit. I can see me easily probably hitting like 245, 5 years. Like an even 245, not a stupid 245. Like I'm talking about my arms is like my arms is a solid. So I don't know how much they is now. They probably about like 15 pounds. I would say each arm would be like 25 pounds type shit. Each leg, I don't know, be about shit, I don't know how much a leg would be. What, 75, 80 pounds a piece? It's 160. So yeah, pretty much. I guess the moral of whatever, um, if I had to guess, y'all tell me what y'all think after y'all look at this dude shit. But he a good dude. I don't know. You know what I mean? Good. I'm not saying he a bad person. Nowhere on there did I see him say like I do this and this and this and this and this. So based on what I just said, I'm leaning more towards the unstable. I mean, not unstable, but unnatural. The supernatural. The unnatural. But just those little things, bro. Huge, huge, huge. I guess it's a callus. I guess you get a callus right there. Yeah, I guess that can happen, bro. I guess it's a little bit tender, but I don't know. Like, why would you let that happen like that? Bro, I'm the type of person that's gonna put on gloves at the gym. I wear gloves in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, bro. Maybe people just different. I think I'm to the point to where I'm not in there trying to do. I don't know what's the point of not wearing gloves in the gym. I don't get it. What's the point? What you want? You want your hands to feel like that? Like it's kind of like fake a little bit, bro. Like just because you lift weights don't mean that you have to have rough hands. You know what I mean? I don't know. But whatever, y'all tell me what y'all think on that. That's a whole another topic right there, bro. I feel like gloves is a necessity. It's not a necessity. You can of course do it without it, but over time, I just think like the repetitive working out without gloves, no bueno. It's no good. No good. But yeah, I'm leaning towards the unnatural side. Unnatural side. Still trying to, trying to keep up a little bit with the soccer, the FIFA, etc. Should have been exciting. I mean, it's been alright. It's been raw. I'm mad I missed. So yesterday I missed a couple games. I missed England versus Brazil, or no, Norway versus Brazil. This Norway versus Brazil. Holland, he's the truth. Can't be stopped. Nobody, I don't know. Like he's pretty nice, bro. Nice player, bro. Crazy build. Dude, what do he look like? Goddamn Viking, goddamn Game of Thrones, goddamn Neanderthal, goddamn. Bro, he looked like all of those Game of Thrones characters. What the hell? Straight up killed. We chilling, man. The gym, kinda buzzing. I mean, it had to be buzzing people all up in the space. But these normals, though, these familiar people, these familiars, see their ass often, so you got no problem with nobody. I don't know why people be getting so upset about like. I guess I can understand how people get so upset about people like walking around the camera in front of the camera. Like if you're doing something specific, are you trying to get like a certain take? But if you're just doing a plain ass workout, bro, like people walking around, like I don't know, like what that's supposed to do for, like this is not your gym, bro. Can't get mad about that. I don't give a damn about it. It's all made up. Yeah, those the regulars. I noticed them because they stand out a little bit. Respect the white guy that can just kind of like you know, I think I respect the white guy more who could just kind of like be with a black girl, you know, like be with a black girl and just I think it say more than just like a white girl being with a black guy. You know, it says more like to about the relationship. You know, I mean, not to say nothing against nobody, but I think it just mean like to me it just stand out. Like it say a lot about that man. You know, I feel like because it's tough, right? Especially like some black girl, like she got weave and shit. You know, she got plaits and shit. You know, just a couple generations ago, bro, we was over here. You know, you go one generation back, especially from his age, one generation back, bro. His, you know, his peoples was probably, you know, like the damn sons and shit of fucking slave owners. You know, my group of people. So I would say go back like one generation. So like, wait, so my grandma, hmm, so I've been like one or two generations, and then like that's where the shit started to be like a little bit. But you know, I don't know, bro. I just say a lot, you know. But it's definitely when you're in that mixed type of dynamic in a relationship, it's gonna call for a lot of awareness from you, bro. Like for real, like you gotta be aware about a lot of things. It's just like the same about if you was a daughter, you know, if you a woman and you having a son, you know, you just kind of gotta be a little bit. You gotta kind of be heightened aware about certain things that this person, that your son's gonna be involved in, and like be looked at and how he should react and respond to certain situations. So you gotta be like extra heightened. You know, same with being in a multicultural relationship. You gotta be real heightened and sensitive. You know, to just culture and just really open to learn. You can't shut yourself off. You know, you shut yourself off or not trying to understand or not trying to learn or not understanding that it's a lot to be learned about, you know, each other and each other's culture, and not even just, bro, you got on top of learning about each other, bro, you got to learn about the other person's culture, the other person's family upbringing. You got to break through barriers, bro. It's like, especially like this group now, like y'all got to do, you know, it's a lot of explanations and shit online, but it's you know, it's tough now. We still got to break through barriers, bro. Some point, bro, I think the ultimate version of human is just a mix of everything. It'll probably be like the ultimate version of human. It'll probably be like, mm, like when it's all said and done, like what's the main version of the human? Like what is it gonna be? It'll probably be like a goddamn a orangish colored human. You know, like tinted, maybe like burnt orange type shit. A tint between white, black, Mexican. You know, more so Mexican and black. I feel like that's gonna be the. I don't know, but I don't see too many Mexicans and black people kind of being together for a long ass time. Yeah, you don't really see that too many times. Even though Mexicans and blacks grow up a lot though. Like I grew up. I mean, I stay in Florida, so I personally grew up at specific times in specific neighborhoods with, cause you know we moving around and shit. Grew up with some mostly Mexican neighborhoods. Crazy, or like split half and half. Bro, I remember there was a. I remember they used to have like, and this is great. This is before like the social media shit. This shit would have been on social media. This shit would have been viral. The type of shit that used to be going on over there. Never heard about this anywhere. Like no news articles. This shit used to just happen and just disappear the next day. But Loki used to be having like many race fights. Definitely like the teenagers and shit. You know, just with not so much to do out there. You know, and just it's just like, bro, the area we was at was just highway, with streets, highways and shit, but no, not too many neighborhoods. Just kind of like, you know, and not too much to do in that area. So they had a whole bunch of little, um, not a whole bunch, but it's just like more than you would think. And this is like maybe 2000 something, early 2000s, middle 2000s, fucking fighting like Mexicans versus black people, straight up. Fucking throwing Corona bottles. Like, it was like they had Corona bottles, like throwing them bitches. I remember driving, coming back from, I don't know where we was coming back from, but we was dodging shit flying from the air in the car, like Corona bottles and shit. And then, bro, this shit gonna sound funny as hell, and I'm thinking about it. And then it was like, um, Mexicans that used to be coming out with their landscaping gear, weed whackers and shit, edgers, like using them as weapons. You know, but it's crazy though too, because it's like as easy as it would have been to shoot somebody, stab somebody, everybody pretty much had like it was almost like a mutual respect thing. Like the limits what like you was not to exceed past a certain limit. And the issue got resolved. It's crazy to think like this shit was happening. And it's not even like no country ass town. This is like we had a YMCA, you know. It's not country over there. But it is kind of isolated. Like based off of like how the town is made up, the city made up and shit. But yeah, they used to be fighting, bro, and they used to be like mutual. Nobody got killed or hurt or nothing like that. You know what I mean? As far as I remember, I was a kid, but I don't remember like no situations about like people getting killed, hurt, stabbed, or nothing like that. Like they was getting hurt from beat up and shit and knocked out. You know, but the issues was handled like domestically. I don't know if that's the right term. Like domestically, like locally. It wasn't like given to like the authorities. Not saying that's right or wrong, but you know, I don't know. A lot of people got then they made it was almost like a mutual agreement amongst both parties for whatever the reason was. And I don't think nobody ever spoke this shit out. And there was no like named group involved in this shit. It was just like groups of people, like friends and families and shit. Multiple friends and families and shit. Like it was no coalition. It was just like shit that was happening. But granted, I was young when this shit was happening. So I'm like 8, 9, 10, however age. But yeah, nowadays I feel like some shit like that was to happen, bro. People would probably getting stabbed up, you know, killed, stabbed at least, shot, you know, stabbed and shot for the most part. Mm. I don't know how we get to this topic, but it just was crazy. I just was remembering this shit. So what else going on? So this is impressive lift. So we could talk about my lift right here. And shit that's in the video. So really, I mean it's impressive for me. So I think the impressive part of look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I was like a couple inches away from failing. A couple seconds, milliseconds away from failing. Scary situation too. I was ready to slide up out of that bitch though, low key. But no, this is perfect. So boom, so I failed, right? And of course I want to hop back up. Let me see if I hop back up. I don't think I hop back up on this time. What do I do? So I failed. So a good way you can get and stimulate safely, effectively. Fail. So your working weight, you failing on your working weight, right? And immediately after your working weight fail, you drop down the weight and start working again. You know, you drop down the weight, something chill, something safe, and then just go to failure again. Right? And I feel like I rested a little bit too long on that one. So really, I think maybe because I done did a whole bunch of reps. I ain't really been watching the video too much, but I think I really just did a whole bunch of reps on your sets. And at this point I feel like, you know, so like just kind of like swamped the field and shit, you know, tired as hell, fatigued throughout. But yeah, and then go ahead and go to failure 135. It says safe failure too, so safe failure, safe failure, bro, because when you're on this incline and you dolo, like, it's nothing else, like, especially with this machine set up, bro, there's nothing here to save you, so. And then throwing that shit over your knees like your boy might be a tough feat for some to coordinate while under fatigue. And then, bro, let me tell you, there's no space here neither. So it's like, if I throw this shit's gonna hit the barbell rack, not the barbell, the curl rack, the curl bar rack. And y'all seen them people standing there, so you know, fucking somebody over, throwing that bitch at them. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's the whole workout, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think, what y'all learned, what y'all think I need to improve on. I think I gave myself a rating with, I think it's 8 out of 10, right? Solid. 8 out of 10 is solid. 8 out of 10. I was sore for like maybe, especially in my legs, for about 4 days. And then my upper body, maybe like 2-3 days. So maybe like 2 days for my upper body. Right? So quality workout, man. And thanks for watching, bro. Like, subscribe, comment, peace.